To rust or not to rust? That is the question. Actually, no it's not. Who in the world wants rusty tools? Today what we're going to be working with is this distilled white vinegar. You can pick it up at grocery stores. It's very easy to get a hold of. And what I've got is just a bucket to hold the liquid. And I'm just going to put a little bit of extra in because it's kind of running low. And what you want to do is just take your tool or whatever is rusty and make sure that is going to fit completely into the vinegar. If you leave any kind of part sticking out, it's actually going to cause an etch mark in this because the chemical reaction actually removes a layer of the metal. So you will have an etch mark in wherever you have the air meeting the liquid. So what you want to do is place this completely submerged into your vinegar. And this is just an old saw that I want to get all nice and cleaned up. Make sure that I've got all the parts, and I've got a little bit still sticking out, so what I'm going to do is just add a little bit more of the vinegar to make sure that it is completely covered. So now all the parts I've put in there are completely covered, so I shouldn't have any etching involved with this. Now the next question is, how long do you want to leave your rusted tool inside the liquid? That depends greatly on how rusted it is. I had this adze and it was really bad shape, really rusted. This actually sat in the liquid for about 12 to 14 hours. I think it was closer to the 14-hour mark, and I kept checking it after about 10 hours and it still had a little bit of rust on it, so I let it sit in there a little bit longer. The saw, however, it's not that heavily coated with rust, so I'll probably give it about 2 hours to come back out and check it and see how well it's doing. Because remember, you're removing the metal, you aren't really just removing the rust, you're removing the metal, so the longer you leave it in there, the more metal is getting removed off of it. So I'm going to go ahead and let this sit in there for about 2 hours and then come out and start checking it. After I get done with it, I'm going to go ahead and put on some gloves and then pull it out. What you want to do after you get it out of the liquid is give it a nice bath. I'm going to go ahead and mix up some water and baking soda and give it a nice scrub down afterwards. This, however, will cause a flash rusting process if you do not coat it with some kind of oil. Alright, it's been 2.5 hours and I decided to come out and just check on things, and it looks like stuff's pretty much off of there. A lot of it's wiping off right now. I'm probably going to go ahead and give it a bath in the water. And here's the saw straight out of the water. As you can see, it's cleaned it up very well. Some of this is just from the old coloring that didn't get scraped off, which is good. And now I can see that it's a Union Hardware Company, Torrington, Connecticut, USA. So before I had all the rust and stuff on there, I couldn't see what it was, but now I can. So it's good to know kind of the history of where this has come from. And now all that's left to do is to go ahead and put it together. Which is the easy part, the part that takes so much to be able to use it. And now it's just one step closer to being able to use the new saw, or I guess the new furniture saw. And with the new saw always comes a new blade to get the UV sunlight. If I can get the Now I've walked over here to the metal side of the shop. You can tell it's a lot darker and gloomier, but I've went ahead and clamped just a scrap piece of metal in the Bessie vise, and we're going to give it a test ride.